Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are opening up the playbook for one of the most sought-after research fellowships on the planet, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Postdoctoral Fellowship. We're going to break this thing down into a clear, step-by-step guide to help you succeed. So why do you even need a playbook? Well, have a look at this number. That's the approximate success rate. About 14%. Now, that's not to scare you. It just shows how incredibly competitive and frankly how prestigious this award really is. But before that number gives you pause, let's get one thing straight about what this fellowship is really about. The core idea isn't just to fund your research project. It's to fund you. The MSCA is designed as a full-on career development plan. It's an investment in your potential to become a future leader. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, then we'll break down the three big evaluation criteria: excellence, impact, and implementation. And we'll wrap up with some amazing insider tips from fellows who have actually cracked the code. All right, first things first. Let's make sure we've got the fundamentals down. You have to know which path is the right one for you before you even think about writing. You've basically got two main options here. There's the European Fellowship, which is for any researcher from anywhere in the world who wants to come to Europe. Then there's the Global Fellowship. This one's for European researchers who want to go work outside of Europe for a year or two. But, and this is a really key part, you have a mandatory 12-month return phase to bring all that new knowledge back. Okay, before you get excited and start writing, you have to pass through this gate. These rules are absolute deal breakers. You need to have your PhD in hand by the deadline, you can't have more than 8 years of research experience since you got it, and you have to meet the mobility rule. Please check these carefully. There is zero wiggle room on this. So, assuming you're eligible, let's move on to the single most important part of your application. This is it, the excellence section. It's not just a part of the proposal, it's the very heart of it. And when I say it's the heart, I am not kidding. Take a look. Your entire proposal is scored on these three sections, and excellence is worth a whopping 50% of your total score. Impact gets 30%, and implementation gets 20%. This right here tells you exactly where you need to pour most of your effort. So what does excellence even mean here? It's not just about having a brilliant idea. Nope, it's about synergy, a two-way street of knowledge. You have to clearly show what you are going to gain from being at that specific lab, and just as important, what are you going to give back? Are you going to bring a new technique? Will you train PhD students? It's a partnership, and because it's a partnership, your choice of supervisor and host is absolutely critical. You're not just picking a lab, you're picking a launch pad. You have to demonstrate that your supervisor is a recognized leader, and you need to show that the institution itself has everything you need, from the right equipment to HR support, to make sure you succeed. All right, we've covered excellence. Now let's talk about impact. This is where you zoom out and show the long-term ripple effects of your work. And believe me, it's about a lot more than just getting a few papers published. The evaluators want to see a story. They want to see a clear vision for your career. So what's the plan? In 2 years, sure, you'll have new skills and publications, but what about 5 years from now? Are you going to be applying for a big ERC grant? And in 10 years, will you be a recognized leader in your field? You need to spell this out. Now, a huge part of your impact is how you share your findings. And there's a really important distinction you need to make. Dissemination, that's for your peers, scientific papers, conferences, that kind of stuff. But communication, that's for everybody else. How are you going to tell the public why your research matters? Maybe a blog, a podcast, or getting involved in public science fairs. So, you've pitched an excellent, high-impact idea. Awesome. Now comes the big question. Can you actually pull it off? That's where the implementation section comes in. This is your practical roadmap. And this right here, a table like this, is your proof. You need to break your entire project down into logical work packages. And for each one, you lay out the tasks, the specific things you'll produce, we call those deliverables, and the exact milestones with a month number next to them. This shows the evaluator that your plan isn't just a dream. It's realistic, it's thought through, and it's doable. You know, any good researcher knows that science rarely goes perfectly to plan. Things go wrong, and you need to show you've thought about that. Identify the biggest risks. What if you can't get on that machine? What if a method fails? And for each one, you provide a plan B. This shows you're not just a scientist, you're a project manager. Okay, we've walked through the official criteria. Now for the really good stuff. Let's get into some of the unwritten rules, the secrets from people who have actually won this thing and can give you that winning edge. A winning proposal is absolutely not a last-minute job. The top applicants start early, like 6 months before the deadline. They find their supervisor, they build the idea together, and here's the kicker. They get tons of feedback. It's totally normal to write 7 or 8 complete drafts of this thing. That's what it takes. And this quote from a successful fellow, I mean, it says it all, doesn't it? This is probably the most common advice you'll hear. The relationship with your supervisor is everything. The best proposals aren't just pitched to a supervisor, they're built with them, from the ground up. And finally, please, do not get discouraged if you don't succeed on your first try. This story is so common. In fact, people who resubmit actually have a higher success rate. Why? Because you get a feedback report from the evaluators. That report is pure gold. It tells you exactly where the weaknesses were, so you can fix them and come back even stronger. So if you remember just one single thing from all of this, let it be this. The Marie Curie Fellowship is not a prize for what you've done in the past. It is an investment in your future. It's about who you are going to become. So as you sit down to write, I want you to keep this one question in your mind. Is this proposal a CV of your past brilliance, or is it an exciting, compelling vision for your future potential? Because how you answer that question, that will define everything.